Hello and welcome to episode 2 of our human tutorial series. As the Naruto soundtrack plays in the background, here we are. I went and finished all of the stone roads, and I also went and placed a training ground of sufficient size, because in the end of the last episode I didn't have one. So, here we are. In the first episode, I went over how to start your infrastructure according to the Fiend's knowledge. There are definitely different ways, and I know plenty of people have their own methods. Don't mind this road, this will be changed. I'm going to remove this road area and make something down the line. At the moment, I'm trying to just get the base infrastructure set up. Aesthetics aside, you're really trying to get the most services possible for your people early on. So we have a fight pit, stage, speaker, hearth, well, lavatory, and markets, as well as the food stall. All of those put together gets your services up to only 8, because not all of them are full. Taverns and bathhouses can be accessed relatively early, but to actually get the alcohol necessary is quite a challenge. So that is going to be something we work towards. As this is what I'd say is the beginning of the mid game. Once you hit 100 people to 500 people, you start to hit like the late early game. This is a good point to start catapulting yourself. You can see I have a tailor here. So we're using leather that we're producing from the orc pasture, and we're actually putting it there. And we also have a hunter. Eventually, we're going to turn this hunter into a leather, of course, save a leather production center, and they will bring leather, and then we'll produce that into clothing. But ideally, we want to get our iron situation sorted first. So I'm going to look on the map, see if there's a close deposit. It does not appear to be. So we're going to have to build our road all the way down to this deposit right here. And I'm going to build a charcoaler, and I'm going to make coal, and I'm going to mine ore. Likely, it depends actually. If this map or seed has very good ore imports, I might actually import it. So we're currently importing only bread. At 163, that is quite expensive comparatively to everything else. So we're not going to import ore. Instead, we're going to mine it. So right away, I'll set a road, and it's going to be a dirt road. I'm just going to make it go all the way over like this. And he's going to go all the way over the mountainside here. And they're going to get to work on that. Meanwhile, I'm also going to try to extend the houses and the population. Ideally, I'd really like to get some nurseries up and running. We have production of fruits. Every year we're making about 500, and I don't think our people are eating them. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't have access to fruit. So those are sitting there. So I can actually get some babies on the way, and I'll probably put them in here and remove the throne and do all that stuff. So I'll see you guys in a moment when something important happens. Basically, at this point where I've got you is where you, the player, can take off and go in whatever direction you feel. Personally, though, I find that once you have a laboratory and everything else, of course, just rip a toot in my ear. Metal. Metal is the next most obvious thing. A lot of people will try to go for clay and pottery. Sometimes I'll even go for cut stone. But I think that metal is the ideal. And that's what I'm going to go for. So I'll see you guys in a moment. And training too. Don't forget to train your regiments. I forgot that. When you have your training, go see this is your population, your subjects. Go down one to the right and delete these 3 regiments here. 1 or divisions. I always call them regiments. They're divisions in this game. So you remove those 3. These guys 20 guys is good if you have a smaller population. I'm going to put it at 20 for now so that I don't lose all my people once I get this training up and running. And that way, if somebody comes and attacks us, we have somebody to defend ourselves. And not just a bunch of defenseless plebs. Alright, we got our training ground up and running. Got our dirty little trainees working. And I actually want to put a well over here in this area, as well as a hearth for the boys, for the troops, and probably a speaker. Just because. So this will be the training area for now. Everything is going to be built sectionally. For now, we're just going to build on top of ourselves. And eventually I'll move it out. Until we have the labor force for that, that's not going to happen. And I also built a warehouse here so we could store excess fruit. And we've got the nursery on the way. Now that this was done, we can build a nice big old nursery. Plenty of spaces for people to live. I'll put this all fruit like that. Put a nice little tree in here. And our road is getting there. It's not done yet, but it's getting there. I think also now is a good time to build a farm for grain so that I don't have to import all this bread. It's kind of expensive. Just gonna put a nice old farm. Actually, get some good land over here. Why not use it? Perfect, we'll put that over there. Alright, so now we've got a nursery. Reproduction capability is not very high. We got 4 babies on the way. It's going to take 10 days for the next child to come along. So it's going to be a little bit. But I'll probably import some more people so we get those babies up there. Well, actually, yeah, we'll do 10 more people. We'll do 10 at a time. Nice, we got a ration maker, an army supply depot. And we've made it all the way to the other side. We have our little farm on the way. Here, little grain farm. And we've also got the ore mine on the way over here. So I got the roads connecting it up. And then I'm just going to have to build some houses in this area, vicinity over here. They're not going to be nice houses, but it'll be something. I'll probably design a little house block so that places like this are manned by people. Enough people in order to have all the services they need. Alright, so what I've created here is the mold of a block, city block, where 30 people right now can live until they're upgraded. They'll have a well, speaker, hearth behind them they can have access to with roads on either side, or likely maybe cut off on one side, and a service building over here. I'd like to fit these as small blocks, and actually to add to that, I'm going to do this. Should put a bathroom on there as well. You always want to have a lot of bathrooms. And I think we could get away with this. We could shorten it. Do one less on either side there. 40 services. And then we do one of these right there. Put the doors on either side. And this is your ideal setup for an area. So what I've done is I've gone and put it over here along the road. So there's 30 spaces for people to live. Food stalls, access for 30 people. Market, same. They have a warehouse and a janitor tucked in here. So the warehouse will have supplies for these 2 buildings, and the janitor, as well as this lavatory, will be right here so they can access the bathroom whenever they want. So what I'm going to go do is delete this. And now they're going to work on this. This is going to be the block. These are going to be blocks all throughout the areas where I need them to be. Like If there's something far away like this, it's going to be a block. And likely I'll put a block right here, somewhere right here, because it's kind of far. So what I'll do is I'll go copy area, select this whole area, bring it over here, and we'll actually give a little bit of space like that. And this guy will be starting to pull stuff soon, so we're gonna need a warehouse. Oh, see, I immediately made a mistake. I wanted my road to be 7 long, 7 wide. This area will have to get removed eventually anyways, but I do want to copy this so I don't lose it. That annoys me. I keep doing that to myself. I wish that I could make like a marker or indicator that says that, but really there is no way. Besides just remembering. And obviously our training ground covers a little bit of that ground, but it's okay. We have our grain farm up and running. Pretty soon we'll put a bakery in. We have tons of fruit. Our babies, how many babies we've got? We've got 10 babies. And we've got a pretty decent capacity for reproduction. So hopefully if I add 10 more, let's see, it goes up to 23. Do we get any new babies? They go and they put some more food down. 11 babies. Definitely going to add a couple more, probably 3 or 4. Okay, so I've done a little bit of obvious math here. We have 150 guys and there's 20% soldiers. There's 30 guys trained. You, in order to have everyone happy, need them all to be trained. It only gives you a 1.0 fulfillment boost though, so not very high. Enemy kills seems to be like, I imagine if everyone gets a kill. So if every single soldier in my entire army, all of my people got a kill, they'd be happy about it. Kind of ridiculous. Alright, we have this little bit of town made here. And these guys, these janitors should actually get to work in fixing these dirt roads over here. And the grain farm has produced enough grain for us to actually make another grain farm. So we're going to put another grain farm right here next to it. We'll have like 4 of them over here, something like that. And we have our warehouse, and we're putting in a baker right next to it. As you can see, our people are now starving to death, but that's okay. I will just give them access to fruit for the moment. Because we're not making enough money. We are not making enough money. That is for sure. But we'll have food soon. They'll be okay. Yeah, plenty of grain right here. They just need to get this job done. And actually, what I'll do is I'll suspend this job. And they'll get to work on that. And they're finishing up work over here. I'll actually suspend these these jobs over here real quick. So they focus on just building the bakery. So we've got 30 spaces over here, and we should have enough. There's 5 guys, 10. We'll have 20. Obviously, there's just a bunch of extra janitors here, so we'll drop those down. We'll do like 2 guys there. There we go. We'll put this through that. For stone. We want to get this built up quickly. Alright, the warehouse is up and running. The bakery is getting there. We're just bringing the final pieces to the baker now. Where are there homeless people? They're saying that there's 4 homeless people down there. Oh, we also have this we can remove. Awesome. Here we go. So we're going to start pumping out bread very, very quickly here. I'm going to grab wood, put it in there, and I'll actually have this guy fetching both of those materials so these guys can just grab from this warehouse, go straight over. And what I like to do sometimes, especially with these types of areas, is like build a double or a triple door so they can get in and out a little easier. And we'll build a road like so. Put a little bit of decoration in here. So we've got a baker. They are producing a fair amount of bread per day. Not enough to keep our people alive. Not yet. Once they can actually build a stockpile, then we can remove the fruit access here. And we'll have these guys work on this now. It's crucial not to boost your population too quickly, or else you'll face yourself with starvation. Alright, now we have our clay pit area up and running. We're short a few workers. We have quite a few problems on the food scale, but I'm importing grain and we just got a harvest. So I think early on I should have definitely told people to put more farms, but I personally never build lots of farms, and that's part of the reason why I don't tell people to put farms. I think it's kind of implied, though, that if you want to survive, food is your number one concern. For the old fiend here, though, I never go for food. I always go for other stuff. And surprisingly, usually my population doesn't suffer for it. Usually. Not all the time. Okay, we're only losing a few scientists right now. I'm actually going to import 10 more guys, though. So we have 190. Our babies are almost there. It's taken so long. So long. It takes quite a long time. So I'm actually going to build another one of these. No, I think I need another one of these first. Awesome. Finally. After some time, we got the charcoaler. And I swear, it's saved every single time I've talked. Here we are. We've got the charcoaler. It interrupts me. It really is annoying as hell. But I have it set at 5-minute intervals, or I think it's 7-minute now. And I swear it just always happens when I'm done. So, to cap off what this episode is, I'm going to consider this one the Refinement episode. And we're going to talk about what I did and kind of go over the few expansions I made. We didn't quite reach our iron mine there, but we have reached all of the infrastructure necessary to actually get to iron, or metal, I should say. So we have our clay pit. Clay is necessary for a wide variety of things, including alcohol, pottery, etc. So we have this going. We have our little area here, and we're going to probably put some pumps in so that they can pump water down into the city. Probably will put it along here, as it might look good, or potentially along the center of this lane road here. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I put in an additional oric pasture. So food was a big problem. Food was something I had to focus on, and I put in another orchard. So we have 2 orchards, one here and one here. I believe humans aren't necessarily bad at working the fields, but they aren't the best at working orchards. Regardless, they're getting fruit. This one's going to be producing 550, and this one hopefully will produce roughly the same. I also put some technology, which we're negative in, to the edible crop optimization and hunting. Ideally, we should put more people in here and use that to our benefit, but currently, a lot of the stuff I've been trying to do is just expand our population centers and also give us some access to refining materials like metal and baking here. So here we are in our baking zone. We have our 3 grain farms, and now we have 2K spare grain. We don't have to import grain at all. These guys are working away. We have 1 baker, and there's another baker on the way right behind it. This warehouse is filled with grain. This charcoaler is making charcoal, so he's going to put that over here. Eventually, we actually probably should put a few more workers in here, but we don't have any. When that's built up a little bit of supply, we'll have these guys switch over their recipe to grain with coal. So with the coal, it basically produces the same amount, but for less overall. I think that production of wood into coal is not too expensive. Let me see. 8 wood into 3 coal. So you save a little bit. You don't save too much. It's not a huge save, but it's definitely a save of some sort. And the only reason why I've seen people not like charcoalers, I personally only like the charcoaler because of the fact that a charcoaler is a lot better than a mine. You have 50 guys on a mine, coal mine, and you won't even make half as many pieces of coal as this charcoaler with 5 guys. It's kind of ridiculous. So it's more important to do that. You can see I also doubled up. I put another block. I like the way these blocks work. I think that they're perfectly optimized and allow for the services to be upgraded. So there's one food vendor here, one little market worker here, and he is just grabbing stuff from the warehouse directly behind him. They just grab stuff from the warehouse directly behind them. Ideally, I'll have this place have like 2 workers so that one is constantly grabbing stuff and bringing it here. We'll have them fill these little warehouses with food and other supplies they need, and they have their access to their bathrooms. And it's perfectly fit for the amount of guys in this area. And the janitor as well. I always want to have a lot of janitors, especially in this city. If you play, you'll notice that degradation is a big factor, and having no janitors or janitors far apart will cause the degradation to go down way quicker. Even having, if you look over here, a little bit further, right here, there was degradation, and he's right next door. He didn't find enough time to get all the way over here, which is a little farther away. So eventually we'll have to put a janitor over here so he can just access right here and clean his area up over here. I believe you can click them and you see their radius is right here. But you can see he's not getting to these far bits inside the building. And there's another case to be made too, that if it's at the back end of a building, like if you see it's inside of a building and it's at the back end, a really smart idea is to put a door at the back so that they can access it on their way around. There's a faster way for them to get in there. So we've got that going. And the final piece that we've got worked on here is the food vendors and the markets for this area, this little copied area, and our ore mine construction. We are almost there. If I speed it up, we could probably actually get that going. They are 92% cleared, and they just have to start bringing in the stuff. So what I like to do is give them a hauler. So 2 little hauler boys here. And we're going to give them access to furniture, and I believe stone is what they need. So if you'd like your buildings to get done faster, ideally it's better to put haulers right next to them so that the people who are doing the jobs will just grab from the hauler instead of trying to bring it themselves. They sometimes get caught up on that. So the next time the hauler brings over some furniture here, a couple times, yeah, one more time or 2 will be good. And our babies are finally growing. We have 15 children. 15 children are turning into adults now, and we have 17 babies. So they are finally turning over. It's taken quite some time, but it is early game, so you can only hope for so much. And once our second orchard is up and running, we will build another nursery. I'd prefer to have literally more fruit than is necessary. And we're going to need a region in order to actually get that going. These guys look like a pretty decent choice here. Tiroli, he doesn't have as much as he'd like to have. So we may send some troops over there eventually. I am not quite sure if I think that being Rome, I'm okay with sending mercenaries places too. So I may actually send these guys out there. Because I've realized that in reality, mercenaries are good. And you need a lot of them. And I'm going to use them to my benefit to conquer the world. Because I did not like the challenge brought about by that last Almevian run, and I'm not even going to finish it probably because of that challenge. It just drained me. It was very draining, and waiting on the population to grow. If I lose them all, I'll just basically be done. I wouldn't be able to do anything with that. So we're going to send these troopers over there, and we're going to take over Providenchek. I actually cannot... Wow, they have to go all the way around. Thoroughly. Homie, how many people you have? 380. Here, you come back here. We're going to fight them. We're going to actually take out Thoroughly here. If you're playing your own series, I recommend using mercenaries, so I'm going to use them just like that. And we're actually going to... What? Oh, okay, it's because our mine just started. So we have a mine here. But I'm not worried about the mine right now. I need to make a little bit of money. So we're going to trade a little bit more stuff with this guy here. Maybe some of these, a little bit of that. Some of that. We got a bunch of that. Sell all that. 34,000. Yes, I'm selling stuff to the guy I'm about to invade so that I can support my mercenary army. Where's the island that he took? Unkrook Island is all the way over there. Bastard. So we're gonna wait in a siege. If I assaulted him right there, he would have killed me and my entire mercenary army. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but once we do get this region, we'll be able to actually have our guy here send stuff through this region. I hope. He may not actually have access to... I may be taking Thoroughly out for no reason. But his army is coming to fight. He likes some of the smoke. See what he's got. Are you ready to fight? Man, let's do this. So, 448. Their troops have been a little bit destroyed from the siege here, so let's get to it. Alright, here we are. These are our mercenaries. We'll look at them in a minute. We're going to look at their army. So the garrison troops, if you look above their name, it says garrison. Those are troops that have leather armor on, and the regional divisions are troops that are trained by their army. Those are the guys that were marching towards me. So they have very good equipment, typically, but they're often very poorly trained. Yeah. So, as you can see, the garrison troops are very well trained, but no weapons. They just have leather armor on. I think we've got this one. We definitely got this one. We have these guys, bowmen. We also have these guys who are bowmen. These guys are extremely well trained and have leather armor and hammers. And these guys are decently well trained and have plate with the, whatever that long sword is there. So, we're going to have to use our brains on this one. We have far more ranged capabilities than them, and I'm thinking that the only way to win is to actually take out their left flank here and kind of push them from one side like this. We'll keep these 2 units like that. They're going to try to march through here and get through there. Hopefully we'll draw them over here. So we'll have these archers focus their fire on this group of Talapis, and these guys will move up. Oh, okay, what are you doing? Hold on. Those are very quick guys. I don't know why they had to reform up to do that, to shoot, but that's okay. Ideally, we want these Garthamis to charge, and they will collapse. Yep. They don't have the morale for that. They're not a big enough unit. And the same with these guys. They're all gonna collapse based on that. Get these troops over there. Half your army's about to fucking capitulate. these guys to move up too. Hold the line! The Swords of Tomorrow humans are badasses, though. They are not likely to die. There's 141 of them. See, focusing, if I had attacked the center of their line, I would have spread my troops out wide. And I would have had to not be able to do shit like this, where they're all bunched up here. There's 135 decently trained Talapis, but they're just getting shot from behind. And they're gonna get pummeled by this archery group here. As a matter of fact, I could probably move them in and have them attack, but they don't actually have any melee weapons, so kind of be useless. But we will win this fight for sure. Because this group of Swords of Tomorrow and this other one here, they've only lost one guy and the other, yep, they're fleeing. Alright, form up. Get in there, get closer. Swords of Tomorrow, assist your boys. And I want these guys to actually tighten up a little bit. Get in there. They're fleeing battle. This is one of the most perfectly orchestrated battles possible. And you can see, because they're still engaged in the chaos of battle, they really don't get the command and they're not moving. It's not that they don't know what's going on. It's more likely that they're just not as well trained. These guys, if I tell them to do something, they are pretty quick to it, you see? But these guys, they're a little slower. They're not, like, listening. And they're also wearing armor. So all that's left is these little archer groups over here. And I don't think they can hit us through the woods there. Let's have these guys move quickly. This group can move up on this here. And we'll have these guys do that. Plow them over. Look at these Amevians. I'm actually going to have them disperse too, so they can just start attacking, and I'll have these guys do the same. These are archers. They're just going to lose morale very quickly, yeah. All the boys start going around slaughtering. For an absolute victory. Amazing. And this is why mercenaries are a little too overpowered. You can see we immediately have all of their resources and far too much. And we didn't even spend a single person of our own force here. So, yeah. And we conquer thoroughly. Technically, assaulting them is not the smart idea, but we will. And I'm going to raise them because I'd like all their food. And all of their resources here. I'm not going to take the slaves, though. So now we own thoroughly. We're going to march our boys. Yeah, they have to go all the way around. How big is this guy? He's pretty big. Paravane, you're in my way. I want to get to Provident Deck. God damn it. I'm going to actually look up between now and the next episode what this is on the real world map so that I can name it based on that. And I think I also should have access to... Nope, I do not have access to admin. I think you need to have 500 people. If you accept this, by the way, he's just going to get mad, so there's no reason to. So, with that being said, we've conquered a region. You guys hopefully learned a little bit about mercenaries, how to win, how to be the best at what it is you do, conquer the world. But honestly, no, mercenaries are definitely overpowered, and if you want a truly hard experience, don't play with them. If you'd like to have fun and actually conquer the world and do your role-playing shit like I do, get some mercenaries. And make sure you have lots of spare money. You're going to see in the next episode all of these resources that I had captured are coming in. Actually, I think they should be coming in now. Here they are. All the resources are going to come down this road here. They'll drop off once everything gets dropped off at import depots first. then warehouses, and if there's no more space, they'll bring it straight to your Capitol building. So these boys here have a couple thousand each of brews, drinks, armor, rations, all kinds of cool stuff. So in order to store all this stuff, we're gonna need some big old warehouses. And I think since this area has been kind of designated as my capital room, I'm gonna build something like that, and I think I can get away with a little bit more. And we're going to, how this perfectly lined up like that is insane. It usually doesn't happen like that. We're just gonna do something like this. Don't tell me. It basically is a perfect room. And to be honest, I'm gonna keep it like this. I know there's a little, like, not perfect spacing, but it's okay. This is the throne room storage area. And with that, finally, I will end the episode. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate all the support. Everyone who watches these videos really tells me what's interesting and what you guys like, so I'll keep it up. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.